The classic riddle of the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object is rarely solved in a physics lab. In mythology, this collision serves as a violent diagnostic tool for the limits of loyalty. High on Mount Kailash, Lord Shiva, the god of destruction, has entered a profound, isolated trance. This state of meditation is absolute. The deity is effectively unreachable, and the silence around him is sacred. The sage Parashurama approaches the mountain as the unstoppable force. He is a warrior of legendary intensity, and he is driven by a singular, unyielding demand. He must have a divine vision of his master, Shiva, immediately. Standing in his way is Ganesha, Shiva's son and the designated guardian of the door. He is the immovable object, tasked with maintaining his father's solitude against any and all intruders. Both warriors believe they are acting in the highest interest of the same god. One believes pushing through the door proves his devotion, while the other believes holding the line is the only way to honor the master's state. This standoff at the threshold of a cave becomes a battle to define the very nature of divine loyalty. Parashurama does not open with a request. He immediately leverages his past achievements to bypass the security check at the door. He lists his credentials as the supreme devotee and a direct disciple of Mahadev, expecting his history to function as an all-access pass that overrides the current situation. This is the logic of exceptionalism. A high-status veteran believes they've earned a VIP pass to ignore standard protocols protecting the center. By insisting on his vision, Parashurama prioritizes his own spiritual high. He claims to love the master, yet willingly disturbs his peace. His entire argument rests on the idea that proximity and past service grant permanent, unconditional access. Ganesha is entirely unimpressed by these credentials. He watches a legendary warrior rattle off a resume and remains unmoved. When Ganesha calls the sage a child, he is critiquing Parashurama's understanding of service. He is suggesting that the warrior's demand for attention is a form of spiritual immaturity. Ganesha anchors his defense in a single principle: devotion does not mean disobedience. To Ganesha, you cannot honor a master while actively violating their explicit boundaries. This brand of duty is entirely impersonal. It dictates that a boundary must be held against everyone, especially those who think their status makes them the exception to the rule. Ganesha's stance protects the subject of devotion, while Parashurama's stance serves only the follower's ego. Civilized debate fails when Parashurama realizes his status won't buy him what he wants. His self-importance cannot withstand a simple no. If the sage cannot get his way through his reputation, he immediately resorts to the only other tool he trusts: physical force. Ganesha meets this shift with a calm, stoic acceptance. He does not seek the fight, but he will not move to avoid it. The irony peaks as they strike. Both warriors invoke the name Mahadev to crush one another. The violence reveals a hard truth. Personal desire, disguised as religious fervor, often ends up shattering the sanctuary it claims to protect. Beyond the clashing weapons, the real impact of this encounter lies in the philosophical deadlock that made the violence inevitable. We are left to weigh the pursuit of personal gratification against the quiet, disciplined preservation of a boundary. This is a case study in boundary blindness. It occurs when a follower becomes so convinced of their own importance that they lose the ability to see the leader's actual needs as separate from their own desires. We see this same friction whenever personal history clashes with formal protocol. It is the long-term advisor who believes their tenure grants them the right to bypass the very rules they helped establish, or the inner circle member who thinks their proximity justifies ignoring a direct request for space. History and closeness do not grant a license to violate the parameters set by the person we serve. The highest form of devotion isn't found in the ability to demand special access. It is found in the discipline of knowing when to stay on the other side of the door.